Hey guys, this is Superstar Collector. Thanks for checking out my channel today. So I got a video that I made and I wanted to show off a really cool Transformers item set that I was able to put together of action cards from 1985. I made this video for two reasons. For one, I wanted to show the set off because it's a pretty difficult set to put together, at least with the variations that I have in here. I call this one a background color master set. There's no official name, but I'll get to that a little bit later. But that's what I'm going to call this one, and I'll explain exactly what I mean by that in a little bit. And then the second reason I made the video is I kind of want to pitch an idea to anybody out there who is interested in these action cards as well. I'd like to start a group of fans, maybe a collectors club for this, where we can just get together and discuss the different variants in the set and maybe come up with a full list of all the variants, what really is considered a variant, and then maybe come up with a really good checklist of all of the variants. All right, so how did I first learn about the set? Well, way back in the late 90s, I was a freshman in high school, and I was just starting to get back into collecting all the old Transformer toys that I had as a kid in the late 80s. And I had just, the internet was kind of a brand new thing, and I just realized that people were selling these and eBay had just started, and I didn't have a ton of money at the time. I wasn't even old enough to work a job yet. So I ended up buying some of the toys that I wanted by buying lots of G1 Transformers, like different lots. And then I'd keep the stuff that I wanted, and then I'd sell the rest, and I'd kind of break even, but I'd get the stuff that I wanted for free. And I remember one of the lots, I got about 20 of these action cards, and I didn't know about these as a kid. I'd never got any. I think I was probably a little too young in 1985 to have these kind of cards, but didn't even know they existed till the late 90s, till I got these 20, and I got about 5 stickers with that. Turns out 2 of those stickers were actually Skywarp stickers, which I didn't realize, but they're super rare. I'll talk about that a little bit more too. So then fast forward to just a couple, 3 years ago, I kind of got super into collecting these cards because, well, it started off with that Skywarp sticker. I read that was difficult to find, and I thought I might have had it, and I dig through all my old stuff, and I found the Skywarp sticker, and I had 2 of them. Was shocked, and that kind of got me started back into collecting these. Sadly, I kind of regret I actually traded one of those Skywarp stickers for a yellow backed Jetfire card. It wasn't even in really good condition. Had a piece of Scotch tape on it, but at the time I had never seen one of those yellow backed Jetfire, so I was super excited to get it. I regret it now though, because those Skywarp stickers are really difficult to come by. But anyway, as I started getting back into looking at these cards, I realized that there were different color backgrounds and different error variations of the cards, and I just got absolutely obsessed with collecting them. It kind of, I guess, feeds my OCD a little bit, trying to collect all of the different variations. Then it went to another level too when PSA started grading them. Now I'm kind of obsessed with getting like a set together of PSA graded cards. So anyway, I want to talk about the set a little bit. So they came out in 1985, like I said before. They came in packs of 8 cards. They were all labeled Series 1. They never did do a Series 2. I don't know if the plan was to do that, but they never ended up doing a Series 2. So they're all based off of the Season 2 cartoon episodes. I guess some of the Season 1 stuff too, but they do have characters up through Season 2. Each pack came with 8 cards and a sticker, and so they were 192 cards in total, and so 1 through 41 were the Autobots, and then they had action cards then up until card 97. When I say action cards, it was like scenes from the cartoon series. And then up to card 97, the Decepticons started. They went to card 122, and then 123 through 192 were more scenes from the cartoon. So I mentioned there's 192 cards, and that's generally considered the base set. That's kind of it's accepted that you have a complete set if you have 1 through 192, regardless of what which versions of the cards you have. But of course, some of them are a lot more rare than other cards. So if you try to figure out what all the different cards are, like I did, start by just Googling checklist for 1985 Transformers action cards, and here you see the results that you get. So I want to go through these there. So the very first result you get is from the Cardboard Connection. That's a popular website for card collectors, or sports card collectors, and non-sports card collectors. But really basic, not a lot here. It just gives you 1 through 192. Gives you the cards. Doesn't talk about any of the rare cards or different variations, and then also gives you the 24 stickers that are there. All right. So the second Google result is definitely is a good one. It's a lot better. So this one is the first one to show you the different variations. So it talks about here, it shows you Blaster has the orange background and the blue background. So it goes through, doesn't really tell you much more, though. It again goes through and tells you all the different cards, but doesn't go too far into the variations. The third result is the best one. This is the one I still use. That's from TCDB, another a sports card website, but they do non-sports cards. This is a very good resource. So this is probably the closest thing. I think this is what PSA used when they did their list, at least partially. So it shows you all the cards. This one does show you the different backgrounds, colors, and it shows you some of the they have some cards that were just reversed. The print was reversed. And they have some error cards, and this site shows all of those. But there's also angled variations of these cards, and this site does not I guess consider those variations, or hasn't documented those. The next result is a Google result. It's just a really short blog. Got some guy posting some of his cards here. Doesn't really go too much. And then this is the second best site that I found to resource. So it talks about, or it shows pictures of all the cards with all the variations. So this is what I would consider like the set that I have that I'm going to go over in a minute is a background color master set. So we've got all the different cards here. Goes all the way through and then talks about each one of the variations in detail. So this is a great website. This LMB3net blog. So this is fantastic as well. Shows all those cards. So I was talking about the print. Some of them have just the images like reversed. So yeah. Anyway, so my set specifically. Well, actually, go back. I want to just really quick say there's. I think there's 5 different kind of versions of this. This is what I kind of like to get a group of people together to talk about. But there's the obvious one is the color backgrounds are different on some of the cards, and then in the same cards, some of the shades are different. So like, for instance, there'll be dark blue cards and there'll be halfway light blue cards. And then there'll be very light blue cards. I mean, is that sun damage that caused that? Was the printer running dry, or are they true variations? I don't know. I'd like to discuss that further with people who want to nerd out like me about this. And then there's also different angles to the cars. Now, this is very interesting. And I've noticed this. I didn't see it written anywhere, but I definitely, after collecting these, I noticed there's angle variations, but they're not different on every card. So to me, those are really true variations. Some cards have 3 different ones, and there might be more that I don't even know. And what's really interesting is the blue or purple background cards will have one distinct angle variation, and the orange yellow card version of that same character will have the exact same angle variations as too. So it's definitely clearly to me definitely a variation. It makes this set just absolutely fascinating to collect. Anyway, then there's also I talked about the reverse prints. It's one with like flying high with Starscream. I'll show you that one. But there's one where he's aiming left, and then one is right. It's just a mirror copy of it. Soundwave also has one, or I'm sorry, Shockwave has one where he is pointing, his gun's pointing the other way, where he's got it's just mirrored. And then again, there's one in the blue background, both mirror directions, and then both mirror directions with the yellow backgrounds. It's fascinating. And then there's errors. The famous one is the Ramjet with no tech specs, and there's a few other errors. There's one of the Jetfire cards. I think it's the Guardian Jetfire, one of the cartoon sequence cards. has a different number of lines of text. And there's probably a lot of these error cards that haven't even been discovered yet. So anyway, I'd like to start a group where we can all nerd out and talk about those really specific things and hopefully come to some kind of agreement on what true variations are, and maybe make some sets and subsets and master sets definitions to help this specific hobby out of collecting these cards. So anyway, I want to get to my set now that I want to show you today. So I have compiled a set with, I call this a master color background set, or a color background master set. It has all the different color background variations. I'm not including any angle variations or the shade variations, and I don't have any errors or reverse prints. I think in general, the condition of these, I'd say if you sent all these cards into PSA, I think the average grade would probably get about a 7 total. I think a handful of the character cards would get 8s, and maybe there'd be a few 9s in there, but there'd probably be a few below 7 as well. And then the scene cards are in a little bit better condition. I think they'd probably average 8 or 8 or so. Yeah, there would be probably a good number of 9s in there too, and maybe a few 10s would come back from PSA. None of the cards have any creases in them except the Autobots Domed Home. The orange card has a small crease in it. And for the most part, they have really white card backs as well. They're really the flaws. There's minor surface flaws on most or all of these. And then maybe some corner or edge wear or some imperfections on the surface. So yeah, without any further ado, I want to go over the set. I'm going to put this on a faster playback, and you can slow that down or even speed that up on the YouTube video. All right, so yeah, here's my set. The very first card we're going to look at is Optimus Prime, of course, card number 1. And this graded a PSA 7. I don't know how this got a 7. Honestly, I thought it had a chance at a 10. I thought it would get a 9 at the very lowest. I still don't see any flaws on it. So not sure what PSA was doing. Like I said, they surprise me sometimes. I'm usually pretty good about telling what grade it's going to get, but surprised me on this one. Jazz, can see, obviously got a little bit of issues on the edge there, on the top edge. That's the blue streak. Here we got Ratchet, both variations, the blue and the orange. Pretty good condition, nice white backs. All right, everybody loves Trax. That one did not have a different background color, neither did Trailbreaker. Inferno did not have a different background color. See that smoke screen? A few issues on the surface there. Same thing with Skids. A really nice card. Both the Sunstreaker versions, the blue and the orange back Sunstreakers. All right, Red Alert. Got the yellow and the blue back. I'm sorry, Red Alert, that was sideswipe. All right, Mirage. Mirage had a very distinct angle variation where he was pointing up in the corner in that card, pointing down in a different variation, angle variation, but I don't have that in the set. You see the two different versions of Red Alert. Getting through the Autobots here, we got Wheeljack. Wheeljack had an interesting, different version that wasn't included there, but it was where it was kind of hollow in the middle. Those are my the two Iron Hides, and now looking at Prowl. Got Grapple, orange and blue background. Grapple. Perceptor only came with that one yellow background. Blaster, two different versions of Blaster. Two different background colors. Got the Top Spin and Twin Twist. Right, two of the lesser popular characters. And then we got the mini bots, which surprisingly, most of the mini bots had two background colors as well. And I don't know the rhyme or reason for why they had different background colors or didn't. Because, like, for instance, Cliffjumper didn't have different background color and just had that one. Yep. Same thing with Gears. Cosmos did have both background colors. Wind Charger only had the one. There's Bumblebee. Bumblebee had two background colors. So one of these in this set is PSA graded 7. Again, I'm really surprised. I knew this one wasn't going to get a 10, but I thought it would get 8 at the lowest, and I thought it'd get a 9. So I'm, again, not totally sure why they didn't grade that a little bit higher. Power Glide, got both versions of Power Glide there. sea spray. The orange back sea spray, surprisingly hard to find in good condition. Here's Warpath. Warpath was a pretty cool one. Both colors there for Warpath. And then Beachcomber. I think that finishes out. He only has one side now. The Dinobots all had two backgrounds except Swoop randomly. The Grimlock, yellow one, pretty tough to find. There's the Swoop. And yeah, there's a Snarl. Snarl, I found 3 distinct angle variations for both versions. And Sludge. Dinobot's tough to find. The orange backed ones are tough to find. Okay, Jetfire. Here's that infamous one where I traded Jetfire yellow background for that Skywarp sticker. This isn't the same one, but again, I didn't think that one was going to get a 10, but surprised it got a 7. Thought it would get an 8 at the minimum. Here's the 3 different versions of Hoist. The one exception didn't have 2. It had 3. It had a purple, blue, and an orange background. And Omega Supreme had the orange and the blue. Now that Omega is probably one of the nicer cards in the set. Got a 9 from PSA. All right, and that's done with the Autobots. Now we got the cartoon cars down. This is a cool one. It's got 3 different backgrounds of that Autobot Stone Home. Now you can tell the orange back one is not in as good a shape as the other ones. It's the one that has the small crease and had a yellow background too. Now, so 2 versions of Megatron. Unfortunately, yeah, the yellow back Megatron does have a little bit of yellowing on the back, but the purple one, the more rare one, is it's pretty good. Just got some minor surface flaws and white background. Here we go on Starscream. Has both color backgrounds. Overall, really nice. Just got some little bit of edge wear. They go with Jets are the first ones here on the Decepticons. So Dirge has 2 different backgrounds. Thrust just has one. It's one background for Thrust. Okay, we got 2 Skywarp, different backgrounds. And that's not written in Sharpie there, that 7/8. That's drawn on the top loader. Here we go. Thundercracker. Got the 2 different color back variations. All right, and Ramjet. This is the Ramjet is kind of the famous one. He has 6 different angle variations, 3 for each color, and then the one with the no tech specs on back. That's not the. I don't have the no tech specs, and it's part of this set. Soundwave, very popular character. Can be purple and orange back. Then we got the tapes coming up. So Buzzsaw. This has a dark top and a dark bottom, so they're different. So this is one where it was flipped. Both of those are included in the set. Rumble only has 1 background. Ravage has 2 very distinct angle variations, but here we just have the 45-degree one for each color. So Laserbeak, same thing as Buzzsaw. Interesting. Has the dark top, dark bottom version. All right. This should settle the debate whether that's Frenzy or Rumble, right? There's Frenzy with both backgrounds, and then we're done with tapes. Astro Train has both colored backgrounds, the 2 triple changers. Blitzwing, also 2 background. All right, and then we're into the Insecticons. All the Insecticons have both background variations. Yep, Bombshell there. He was my favorite Decepticon growing up. Insecticon. And then Devastator, obviously one of the more popular ones, had the blue backing and orange backing, also with, I believe, 2 different angle variations, but just included as one in the set. And then the 6 Constructicons coming up after that. All of them have 2 different color variations. Back, it's kind of interesting. Devastator and all the Constructicons, individual ones, have the two background color variations. Like, why didn't the Dinobots? Why did only 4 of the 5 Dinobots have 2 different ones? And or why didn't all the mini cars have 2 different ones? Why did half of them? So we'll never know. All right, getting towards the end here. It's going to finish off with Shockwave, and this is the pointing left one. This is one that does have reverse. Tough card to find in the set. So I don't have the flip versions of it, but there's the 2 background colors of Shockwave. So I'm going to speed up the rest of the video here while we I'm going to go through all of the cartoon sequence cards. Let's go to speed. All right, it's going to go through these just one by one, just so you can get a good idea of the condition. The scene cards are in a little bit better condition, generally speaking, than the character cards. Like I said earlier, I think there'll be a few 10s if you sent these scene cards in to PSA, and definitely a bunch of 9s and a lot of 8s. I think average is probably going to be 8 if you sent all these in. We'll go over some of the interesting cards here as we get to them. So this card is an interesting one. It's called Attack on an Oil Rig. There is an error version where that text slides off the right side of the card, and it's actually pretty tough to find. I have a couple, but not any that are in good shape. It's one of the known variations. I'd love to track down if there's more. I bet there are more errors out there. That's why getting kind of a cool collectors club together to just chat about this kind of stuff, I think would be pretty cool. Hopefully find some like-minded nerds. Okay, so this is the one I was telling you about, Starscream Flying High. There's one version of that where he's pointing the other way. It's just a mirror version of the card. That one he was pointing right, and he points left in a different version. And I don't think there's anything too exciting now going through the rest of the cards. So this is where the Decepticons would start that I already showed you. And we skip to card 123 after that, Shockwave. Try to go through these pretty fast. Now there's one more interesting card. Well, just quick note, a lot of these background colors, they kind of have a hue of blue to purple, and I don't have a good example to show that right now, but they go, I don't know if those are true variations or like if the printer was just running out of ink, but some have very clear purple background, and then the same card will have like more of a blue background, and it seems to have like shades in between. Difficult to call that a true variation, but I'm curious what everybody else thinks about that. A lot of Dinobot cards there in the middle, which are pretty cool. I like the Dinobots. I think a lot of people did. But it's waiting for that Jetfire Guardian card. There it is. So that's Jetfire, the Protector. So see where I'm pointing to those lines? There's one of those that has 7 lines and one that has 8. And yeah, that rare one is pretty rare. The one that has less lines than that. All right, just getting through the rest of the cards. Kind of finishes up with a lot of Insecticons. And that's the set. Now, real quick, just want to show you I have 23 stickers, which are also included in the set. I want to go through those really quick. And we'll speed that up as well. Does not include Skywarp because I don't consider that part of the regular set. It's like an insert, if anything. Got all the big ones here, though. Have these in alphabetical order. That was Megatron, obviously, one of the big ones, and then follows up with Optimus right after that. They did a good job, I feel like, selecting the characters for these stickers for the most part. Like they probably could have done without Topspin, but yeah, they got the good Dinobots in there. I got Soundwave, Starscream, Grimlock, and Swoop. So pretty happy with the characters they chose for the stickers at least. But I could have done without Twin Twist. Anyway, there you go. Thanks for watching my video. I appreciate it. And check the comments below if you want to get involved in this collectors club. Thanks.